Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the first story up before we get to the bullshit. Let's talk about our serious stories first. I wanted to talk about the 3 soldiers that were killed in Jordan in the drone attack that happened. I think it happened over the weekend. There were 3 young people, fairly young. Well, yeah, they were all young, younger than me. Sergeant William Rivers, 46 years old. Kennedy Sanders, 24 years old. And Brianna Moffitt, 23 years old. Like I said, they're all here from here. Not sure what city, but very, very sad. They were asleep in their bunkers. It was in the, where the towers were. I think they said this was Tower 22. And this is where all of the military, sleep as they are out there still on, they're still out in the field and still out there working, but they have to have somewhere to rest. And so, their camp was attacked. The United States has come under fire because they did not shoot this drone down, because they, for whatever reason, felt that it was they didn't realize that it was an enemy drone. They thought that it was an American drone. And I guess they thought that that was just a drone that was overseeing the area, for safety. But that was not the case. They said that the Pentagon believes that this was a hit from the TOTB Hezbollah. And they said that they have hit more than 150 times ever since this Gaza war has started. Even though they only had 3 people die, it could have been way worse. This is a base with all of the people there, resting, whoever wasn't working at the time. Over 40 people have been injured. So now President Biden is saying that, they're vowing they're going to make sure that the people that are responsible, that they are going to go after them. Just the thought of you got your 23, 24-year-old child over there, and at least, it's one thing to be killed in action, like you are actually at war or something is happening and you guys are in battle, or you're out and about, but you don't expect to get killed in your sleep, while you're sleeping on, this is your base and it's still, so that's too bad. That is too bad. And that is one of the things that scares us about the military. When you send your children away, it used to be I'm sure it's a proud feeling of knowing that you have a child that is fighting for their country, and it's not an easy job. I know it's a job that I wouldn't want to do for these exact reasons. You hear about when it's peacetime and everybody is fine in the military, but we haven't had peace in a long time, child. It's been a lot of back and forth, fighting, killing, wars, everything. So, yeah, it would be kind of difficult to send my child off right now. You guys, I just wanted to say prayers up for those 3 families, the rest of the people that were injured, prayers up for them as well. Our military that are out in the Middle East and, overseas that are fighting the good fight for us. Always respect for our veterans and our active military personnel, no matter what you do, even if you're not out there fighting, okay? If you're part of the military, you got our respect. So hopefully they do get the people that are responsible. And hopefully whoever dropped the ball on watching those drones, hopefully that they got that shit straight now and know whose is whose. All right, you guys, next story up. YSAP. Mama named him Donald J. Trump. Okay, it looks like he is going to be paying $83.3 million to sex abuse victim E. Jean Carroll because of a rape that he has been found guilty of back in 1995. I'm not sure if it was rape. I think they wanted the claim to be a rape, but I think that it was something else. Liable for sexual abuse, which to me, any kind of sexual crime is just straight up rape to me. Okay, there's just different levels of rape, but if you're doing something sexually to a woman and she didn't want you to do it, to me, that's still rape. Jean Carroll was one of, I believe, 9 women who were all claiming that YSAP had sexually assaulted them. You guys know that YSAP kept calling it a witch hunt and it was just all this setup and that he didn't do it, even though we had videos of him talking about what he do to women, how he just kiss them and they can't say nothing. I mean, it was just like the man then gave us the blueprint of how he acted around women. And for whatever reason, the YSAP followers, they don't care about none of that kind of stuff. It could be anybody else. It would have been a problem. Listen, if it would have been Barack Obama, you guys already know, okay? But YSAP, for whatever reason, gets away with every fucking thing. In this case, Jean Carroll had a case that she won actually back in 2023. She won $5 million in damages on that case. And I thought that this case that has happened this year was an appealed case, but it don't look like this is an appealed case. So I don't really know why it's going to be a second case of the same thing that happened in the first case. I don't really know why. What I do know is that YSAP did not go to the first case. He just didn't even think that it was going to be that big of a deal. And then when he lost and he had to pay the $5 million, he regretted it. He said that it was a mistake for him to have not shown up and that if it goes to court again, that he will definitely go, he will testify. And so that is what happened. He had another case and he did go and he did testify. And he lost. And it just does my heart good, you guys. And, you know, if you know YSAP, you know that he has been difficult this whole process. He said slick shit. They have let him get away with so many things. And even down to the point where when they were reading the verdict, when they were reading the closing arguments, when the lawyers were giving their closing arguments, in the middle of Miss Carroll's lawyer giving their closing argument, YSAP jumped up and walked out the damn courtroom. And you guys know that if he gets up and leaves, then Secret Service have to follow him. And so that was a disruption because now you got 4-5 people just walking out in the middle of this man's speech, you know. And so the judge was irritated with that. And then by the time YSAP's lawyer came back, YSAP wasn't with him, although he did eventually come back, but YSAP's lawyer wasn't with him when he came back. So he was talking and the judge was so over it. The judge told him that if he don't shut up and sit down, that he was going to put his ass in jail. Okay. So immediately sat that ass down. YSAP did finally come back into the courthouse. And by the time the jury was given the case, they went deliberated for 3 hours, not even 3 hours, they said, and they came back and they delivered a guilty verdict and that the man had to pay $83.3 million. Now they were asking for, I think, $12 million. Was it 12 or 24? And they also just left it up to the jury to give, but they wanted a high punitive damages amount, but they didn't give a number. They just told them that they wanted it to be extremely high so that he can be taught a lesson. And I don't know who came up with the 83.3. I'm not sure if it's the jury or the judge. I don't know if the jury is able to do that or the judge. Like, you know, my real rock star lawyers out there, the real ones, y'all weigh in on that. But yeah, at the end of the day, homeboy was 83.3 million, a little shorter in his account. Now, this man cannot use that 83 million. He cannot take that from campaign funds. I'm sure he has way more than $83 million in campaign funds, because you guys know that campaign funds win campaigns. And so they are trying to make sure that they have really, really padded his campaign account so he can get out and do, even though he ain't really doing nothing other than just going around from state to state and talking to people. But he's not really, I ain't really seen no commercials. He hasn't been in any debates. And like, I haven't really seen him do much. I mean, it's just sort of like he knows that he's a shoo-in, at least for the Republican side. So, but anyway, they told him that he can't use campaign funds because that money is especially earmarked for campaigning. Okay. It ain't to keep a nigga out the jail. All right. So figure out 83.3 million from somewhere else. I'm willing to bet that YSAP don't just have $83.3 million sitting around for him to just give freely to Miss Carol. Now, he might be rich on paper. He might be property and, he might have things that make him rich, but you really ain't worth nothing until you die, right? So even though he is rich on paper, he might be cash poor. 83 million, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But there's always been so much discussion about YSAP's finances. I mean, that man might not have, like I said, he got all these buildings and stuff, but he might not be able to just write a check for $40,000, But at any rate, I was confused because I thought that the first case that he had where the lady won the $5 million, I thought that this was an appealed case, but this doesn't look like this was an appealed case. This is the second case. I'm not sure why. He is appealing the $5 million case. Okay. So this is a second case. But it's still the same players and everything. So I'm not real clear on why he's getting tried again, but that's what it is, you guys. And he is mad. And then, of course, the whole time he's been talking about E. Jean Carroll and calling her a whack job and, talking about the judge. And he's literally gotten away with so much. There's no way that anybody else could have been able to talk and say and do what he talk and says and does in the courthouse. Good for Miss Carroll. She said that it's been terrible having to do this lawsuit, that she's been threatened so much that she's afraid for her life, and that she had to put an electric fence around her damn cabin that she lives in, and that she got some damn bullets for these guns just in case somebody want to cross over that electric fence. Okay, she got something waiting for you. So it's a dangerous time. I'm telling you, it's craziness that surrounds YSAP, ain't it? But I'm glad for her. And I just can't wait to see. I'm sure they're going to appeal it. This is going to take some time. It reminds me of the case with Rudy Giuliani and the black women here in Georgia, and how he had to pay all the, he's been ordered to pay all that money. He's appealing that because he was like, nobody has that kind of money. Like, they're being ridiculous. Yes, we know we are. We doing it on purpose. Okay? So anyway, you guys, let's that's enough on that. Let's get on to the rest of the gossip. Let's talk about this situation with Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj. Child, it has been more than a notion, hasn't it? I just been sitting back and watching and really wondering exactly what is it that has my girl Nicki so triggered. I am one of those people that like to think that there is more than enough room for us to have very successful female rappers out there. They shouldn't have to be pit against each other in order for one to be more successful than the other. It's an age-old conversation. We've talked about this a million times here, okay? So I'm sure you guys know that part about me. What I can't understand is, why is it that Nicki is this triggered? Okay. I know there is a lot of stuff that has happened over the years, but what happened back in 2019, when her and Meg had a song together and everything was all good? How did the shit turn this bad? Okay. How did it turn this bad? Some people will say that it was because of Nicki Minaj. That Nicki Minaj, once she feels threatened by this younger generation of rap girls that are coming up, that she lashes out. But even to me, this is a little bit more than what Nicki normally does. To me, she got out of control and moved way further than, she was acting. Some people will say this is still in character for her, but this is a lot, even for Nicki. So the reason why Nicki's panties are in a bunch is because Meg released a song called Hiss. And in this song, Hiss, she's talking about the people and the subjects that have given her grief for the last 3-4 years. Okay. And we all know what has been the biggest grief that Meg has gone through in these last few years. And it's the case against Tory Lanez. Okay, the fact that Tory Lanez, who has been found guilty of shooting her in her feet, who is now currently serving a 10-year sentence in jail, or in prison, I should say. But that lawsuit was so huge and so damaging to Meg and her career. And I believe that it has been mentally, emotionally, and even physically taxing on her person, her body, her mind, her spirit. That's a lot for a girl to go through. Okay. You would have thought that after the lawsuit was over and, she kind of took a break, we didn't see her anymore, that, some of that fodder would have died down by the time she came back. Everybody would have been ready to turn the page or maybe getting a new book and, just put all that shit behind her. But that is not what happened. Okay. The lawsuit is over. Tory Lanez is in jail. However, there are still many, many people out there who do not believe that he shot her, who do not like Meg the Stallion, who, love Tory Lanez, who believe that she lied about either getting shot in the foot or lied that somebody else might have done it. I don't know. You would have to ask those people. But she's been going through it. Okay. On top of that, Nicki Minaj has been kind of a pain in her pussy because every time Meg comes up and says something, then Nicki has something kind of slick to say. But this time was much bigger. Okay. Now, Nicki's history with these young rap girls, I just don't, you would think that because Nicki was hazed and went through a lot of the same shit when she first started with, coming into the rap game, and remember the fighting that her and Lil' Kim was having and everything, and she realized and she felt how difficult it was as a new rapper to come in and, you've got all these legions of fans over here for Lil' Kim coming and attacking her. You would think that Nicki Minaj would remember how that felt and maybe that she would do the opposite and be more welcoming to these new young rap girls that are coming up. Like I remember what it was like, how people treated me. I don't want people to treat you like that too. So I'm gonna take you into my fold. Nicki will do that, but only after you finally, you have to really pretty much pledge your allegiance to her before she will accept you into the fold. Okay. But if it's anything where she feels that you are going against her, then it's a problem and she is going to come after you. We've seen her have problems with Lotto. We've seen her have problems with Cardi B. And now we see her having problems with Meg the Stallion. She's had problems with other rappers that have had to pretty much just get on their knees and really apologize for her to finally come around to them as well. But yeah, it's, some people say that she feels threatened by Meg. I've even heard folks say that, no, it's funny that everybody thinks that she's really mad. Some people believe that this is the first time that Nicki has felt invigorated, that she actually feels like this is a worthy opponent, that this is a person who actually has the talent, who actually could give her some competition. Maybe this is just a part of the sport of rap and everything. And okay, I could get on that page too. I really could, but it shouldn't go past the wax. It shouldn't go past a diss record or something like that. When you start talking about people's family and getting other people involved and then shit get dangerous and you don't know if motherfuckers is finding out where you live and where you work. And, it just becomes way too serious when the fans are so invested in the beef between these two. They're the ones that make it so much more difficult. It just blows up into something just way, way, way bigger, astronomically bigger. Okay. If this would have just been Meg and Nicki, that's one thing. You got the Barbs and you got the Hotties. And yeah, that is a lot of people that are fighting back and forth. And it's just crazy. But the song Hiss that came out, Meg she talked to the Breakfast Club and she said that the song is for whoever get a feeling from it. If a hit dog is gonna holler. So if you felt like I was talking about you in that damn song, maybe I was. Okay. So she never said anybody's name She didn't say Nicki Minaj's name. Well, I didn't put the lines verbatim. But in the song, she says that these hoes not mad at Megan, they mad at Megan's Law. Okay? And actually, that is a very clever line as well. You know, if you really into the wordplay of rap, that was a clever line, because Megan's Law is the law that went into the federal law that went into effect, where people have to register as sex offenders in certain areas, because there was a little girl 7 years old by the name of Megan back in, was it the early 2000s, late 1990s or whatever, but Megan was killed. She was raped and killed, and by one of her neighbors. And nobody in the neighborhood even knew that this person was a convicted sex offender that lived in that neighborhood. Nobody was aware. And so the family, after she was killed, they lobbied and got the law passed called Megan's Law, where now everybody has to register for, you know, if they were a sex offender. The reason why that affects Nicki Minaj, obviously, is because she married a sex offender. Kenneth Petty he served 4 years in jail for an attempted rape back in 1995. Okay. And ever since then, he's had to register. When they moved from New York to Los Angeles, or moved to California, he did not register for, you know, he didn't register as a sex offender. So he actually got in trouble. Remember, he got arrested. He had to go to court. They had to put him on probation, all of that. He had home arrest and all that, remember? So when she brought up the Megan's Law, I mean, obviously that must have triggered Nicki Minaj. Now, I don't know why it's triggered Nicki Minaj to this extent, because everybody has been talking about Kenneth Petty for the years that she's been with him. There have been a lot of people that have had opinions about her relationship with her husband, and she's kind of just let it be like water off of her back, because I'm sure she understands that even if she believes that her husband is innocent, that he didn't do what, you know, the woman claimed that he did do, I'm sure she realizes that people are still going to have that opinion of her, and she can't fight every fucking body, right? So, you know, people going to say what they going to say. She just going to have to, you know, that's the man you in love with. That's the man you support, and that's the one you want to be with. So that's who she's going to be with, right? So it was surprising to me that she felt like this. And so the fact that Megan came out with this song, Hiss, and not even an hour later, here come Nicki Minaj, who got like a freestyle, like locked and loaded and ready to go towards Meg Thee Stallion. That lets you know right there that she been over there plotting and scheming and thinking and worrying about, and, you know, double and triple and quadruple checking herself because she wanted to be making sure that she was ready for Megan's ass if that bitch ever hit. So when that song Hiss came out, I don't know if she got like wind of it was coming or whatever, but like I said, she already had a damn diss freestyle ready, okay? And it was the first original thing that she let out was it was just a freestyle pretty much talking about Meg calling her Bigfoot, okay? Talking about her feet. Listen, Meg Thee Stallion is what? Almost 6 feet tall. She's 5'10", 5'11". She's a big girl. Okay. I'm 5'9", 5'8.5" as I get older. I was like, nigga, shrinking, but you know, I'm 5'8.5", 5'9". You know, tall bitches got big feet. Okay. It's like, what else do you want us to do? We got to be able to, you know, we need to be able to balance ourselves. We don't have little feet. Okay, it actually would look crazy if we was big and shit and tall, and then we got these little size 7 feet, okay? There are people that have that, but I'm saying for the majority, most women that are tall, and you know, of stature like how Meg Thee Stallion is, they gonna have big feet. So it's like a lazy read to me, because it's just like, okay, so I got big feet, so now what? Like, what, is that really, that's the marker? That's what you know, so worried about is my damn feet, you know? And so I did laugh when I saw the picture. You know, there was a picture of her and Meg back when they did their song together back in 2019. And Meg has her leg crossed over Nicki Minaj's, and her big ass foot is all covering up Nicki Minaj's little petite feet. I mean, Nicki Minaj probably is what, 5'2", 5'3"? Of course she's going to have little feet. All right. So, like I said, that's not to me, it's something I might have giggled at, but it's just sort of like, okay, so that's not really. So then Nicki Minaj said, oh no, she has a actual song that's coming. It's going to drop, and she made this big deal about it, and everybody was waiting on, bated breath, because it was just like Nicki Minaj, who is the queen of all of these different little sayings, and we know that she's good at insulting people and having clever word play and all this. So we was just like, okay, well, let's see what this official song gonna be. She was thrown off when the Hiss came out, and Hiss is a good song. Hiss is a good song. Okay. So it was just like, okay, so she knows what she's up against. So I was like, oh, Nicki about to come with some shit for real. Like, finally somebody has given her the ammunition to get up here and just really say something. And then, you guys, there was some delay in the song. The song finally came out. I went to sleep because I was just like, okay, I don't know when this song coming. And I got, nigga got to work in the morning. So by the time the song dropped, and that next morning when I woke up, the very first thing I saw was Messy Miles, and he was just talking about how Nicki Minaj needed to get up because that shit was not it. Okay. And you guys know that Nicki Minaj he's a fave. He loves Nicki Minaj. And the fact that he was saying that, I was just like, that's not good. That's not good. Okay. And then I started seeing other people that I know are barbs that were a little concerned as well. And by the time I finally listened to the song, I was just like, oh, Nick, I just hate to see this. This is not Roman's Revenge, Nicki. This is not Pink Friday first album Nicki, who has had so many great euphemisms and double entendres and play on the words. And that is what she's known for. And this album, that song just felt so flat. It felt rushed. And I saw people saying how, obviously she ain't got nobody around her that's going to tell her no. If she got a whole bunch of yes people around her and all that. And I say, you know what? Nicki Minaj probably does have people around her that's going to tell her no. Okay. But Nicki Minaj, Kanye West, Tyrese, there is a certain type of celebrity who, I don't give a fuck what you say to them. They going to do what they want to do. Okay. They are headstrong and they going to say it. All right. You just, when they get in this mode, you just have to let them get it all out their system, and then we don't see them no more. So that's why I thought that Nicki was about to really come with it. But I just was like, no, Nick, this ain't it, girl. This is not it. And if she would have, and she let her anger, is that the word? She let her anger for Megan just kind of blind her and put that song out when really she shouldn't have. Because now you are, you didn't really win. Okay? You didn't win. Hiss has gone off to be, I know that the barbs and the hotties, they are trying to make sure that these songs stay relevant. And so they've been making sure that they play it over and over and over so everybody can get the credit and, however it's going to land on the Billboard charts or whatever. But if you was really being truthful with yourself, if you listen to old Nicki, the old Nicki that we love, that Bigfoot song just wasn't it. Just wasn't it. Okay. Now I understand she's upset. Meg has talked about her family, Megan's Law. And that has upset Nicki to the point where she's now, she was talking about how she talked to Kelsey, which was Megan's best friend, who, she doesn't speak to anymore, but was part of that lawsuit. And, Nicki was commenting on Meg sleeping with Kelsey's boyfriend, who was Tory Lanez at the time, or at least they were messing around. I don't know if that was considered her boyfriend or whatever. But, and listen, I don't think that Megan is perfect at all. Okay, there's some things that are problematic about Megan. It has nothing to do with rap or any of that kind of stuff. But there are things, you guys know me, there are things about Megan that I have had problems with. However, I don't know why Nicki has inserted herself in this. Nicki is saying that Megan lies on her mother, who has died from brain cancer some years ago. It's just certain things. Like, I feel like Nicki is just really crossed over into it's just I don't know. I ain't never seen the girl quite here. I ain't quite seen her. She ain't even on the ropes no more, y'all. She done got knocked through the ropes and she done landed on the commentator's table. I'm just like, I've never seen Nicki in this position, and I'm just like, girl, no, just, But she's been upset, and she was on Joe Budden's podcast, and she was talking about how she feels like Roc Nation is out to get her, and that they have a smear campaign against her. And listen, it is a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we have no idea about, okay? And I'm sure that also is one of the problems that Nicki Minaj has. It's just that she goes about things the wrong way, okay? I think that she still kind of is stuck in a more childish way of behaving. And it might be because she has a lot of barbs that are younger, all right? When you have a very immature crowd of people that follow you, Meg has a lot of young followers as well. But the barbs, I mean, it's kids that's barbs that's 8 and 9 years old. Okay. And while there may be some 8 and 9-year-old hotties out there, so what I'm saying is Nicki kind of caters to her group of people and the shit that they like, and they like all of that stuff. Megan probably has a little bit more of a more mature audience, and it's too bad that Nicki doesn't, because you would think that she does. Nicki's been around a long time. Nicki is my rapper, my group, my age group rapper. She's not 20 anymore. Nicki is almost 40. I don't think she's 40 yet, but she's all. So it's just like, Nick, I want Nicki to be happy in this stage of her career. Okay. Let them kids be doing all of this shit. You should be, I liked her album and everything because I felt like she got back a little bit closer to what she used to be. All this other bullshit that she does, her show on Apple TV, and her, when she goes on her interviews and all that. I love Nicki when Nicki is funny Nicki. Okay. Loved her when she was on the different interviews, Funny Marco, and the guy that plays the video games. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Like, I like to see when Nicki is in that mode, but when Nicki is in that, feels like everybody is out to get her and she really has to like stand her ground and fight the fight. I don't want her to do it. First of all, it's terrible that these two are fighting against each other, because they right now are the two, Cardi has been kind of quiet. She's got her own issues that's going on over there. And all of them other rappers that we was hearing about a lot, they done kind of all fell off. I mean, Sexy Red is just having a baby, so she kind of on break. I don't see Ice Spice no more. What happened to Glorilla? Cash Doll, she's always trying to fight to make somebody see her. Like JT and Young Miami, City Girls that's going, I mean, Young Miami got her issues trying to ignore the shit that's going on with Puffy. JT is kind of in this in-between, trying to figure out if she should try to do a solo situation, whether or not the City Girls is going to still keep doing out. Like, everybody right now is pretty quiet. And you got the two, Megan and Nicki, with this shit. I hate to see it. But I'm telling you, I feel worse for Nicki, because I'm just like, girl, we too old. Nicki, we too old. Girl, we got kids and everything, and I get it. You want to defend your shit. Her feeling like Meg is really coming after her. But I feel like Meg only goes after people that come after her. She's not one of those people that strikes out at other people. I can't really say that for Nicki. Okay? But I hate it. The last 5 years of Nicki Minaj has been a blemish on her career, if you ask me. And it might be because we just don't understand what goes on behind the scenes, but Nicki should even know that. It's just like, girl, we don't know everything that's happening, so the shit that we seeing from you look crazy. Even if you do have a reason for the way that you're doing anything, and it could be a legitimate reason. It could be something that we don't even, you can't tell us and everything, but that's what I'm saying. If you know you look crazy, then you need to try to change the projection. However you gonna handle this. I don't know, but y'all, I feel like her team is probably very stressed. And Nicki said that she is not going to stop until she has been apologized to. Now, the fallout from all of this is the fans, okay? The fans get involved. You guys have heard about the doxing stories where they found out where Megan's mother was buried. Then they found out where Nicki Minaj's father is buried. Why are you guys doing this to these people? These people are dead. Let them rest in peace, okay? Both of them had tragic endings. Her father, Nicki's father, was hit by a car, hit and run, remember? And then Megan's mom had brain cancer. And let these people rest. What are you guys going up to the damn? Why do you need to know where these people are buried? See, that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, folks get crazy. When they start doxing, I've been doxed. When I first started this, not first, but a couple of years into when I really started to like blow. Not that I'm all that big, y'all. I ain't even got 100,000 subscribers yet, but you know what I'm saying? But like when I first started to have like that initial burst of people starting to know who I was, I got doxed. They reached out to my job, okay? And it was on some bullshit. It was actually on somebody that was pretending to be me on YouTube and was saying all kind of crazy shit in people's comments. Okay, and they apparently had went onto this one person's YouTube and said a whole bunch of crazy shit in their comments, and the girl was mad. And they probably knew that she was going to be this type. So that girl, thinking that it was me, called my job. Okay, and how did she get that? From the fucking links. What's the name of the damn website? The one where your work social media website. And I had to get my ass up off of. But anyway, she went on there, got my information, reached out to my job. And you guys remember, I work for the government. So you don't just call my manager, okay? You calling the damn CEO. The CEO is reaching out to the district, the big boss here. And then the big boss over all the departments. And then that boss reaches out to my boss and everybody in my job. That's when they found out that I had a YouTube channel. I hadn't even told my job that I had a YouTube channel. But when all that shit happened, I got called in. It was a mess. I thought I was going to get fired. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why I don't even talk about really what I do. You guys got an idea of what I do, but I ain't never sat down here and told y'all fully what I do, because I was just like, damn. And then finally the girl realized that it wasn't me, because those of you guys had my back and was just like, it wasn't her. And that person actually took all the video, because she had made a video and she was leaving all these crazy messages for me. And I was just like, I ain't even did nothing. Okay. So yeah, it's a bad feeling to get that, mine is on a way lesser scale, obviously, but I mean, I still need to have my fucking job. I'm gonna get fired over some shit that I didn't even do, and now you've got Meg's mom and Nicki's dad. These people ain't got nothing to do with none of the shit that's going on in the lifetime right now. And you guys are talking about possibly going and fucking up their grave, digging up bodies. What are y'all doing? See, that's what I'm saying. The world done got so crazy. People have gotten away from reality. It's a shame that in 2024, I got to be worried about whether or not you going to go and dig my mama up out of her grave, or dig my father up, or, break up his headstone, or pee or shit on his grave. It's just like, gosh, people it just goes way too far. And so there's nothing really else left for me to say about this, other than I really do like Nicki, but I can't get with this. Okay. This is not the Nicki that I like to see. I like Meg. I don't think that Meg is just 100% innocent in the things, but I know that Meg is on the right side of this right now. She's enjoying the success. I've been seeing her on Good Morning America, and I've been seeing her on all of these different shows. I haven't seen nothing about Nicki. So So I know that Nicki feels like she's really getting treated wrong and everything. But it's just funny when people don't realize that the way you act is how people react to you. Now, if you act in a certain way, how you think the other people that's watching you gonna act? Everybody not gonna co-sign what you're doing. Now, the song, Bigfoot, what did you guys think about it? Did you enjoy it? Let me tell you what song I enjoyed. That goddamn Alexander Diane Rogers to be exact. And did you guys see his song, the remix that he did to Bigfoot? We call it, I've decided to name it Foot for Foot. I'm telling you, he had me cracking up so much on Monday. I watched that video. If it got 5,000 views on there, I promise you I watched that video a good 400 times. I could not stop laughing every time, even now if I watch it. Hilarious, you guys. And you know, I told Alex, I was like, Alex, I am going to perform that song at the top of the blog. So if you guys want to hear it, here it go. So I know I can only rhyme foot with foot. And I know that my man's goose is cooked. And in jail he got booked. And I'm mad at Megan cause my spot she took. So foot for foot for foot. I'ma comment on your seat with the dirty feet. Foot. I got a red foot, yellow foot, P1, 2. I'm gonna turn your red foot now blue. I got more feeding colors than Dr. Seuss. Cause you know I think Megan's a fool. I like the 6 footy, how do you rap on me? Cause I go home to my... I like a man who's had his... rather than a heifer whose feet was zapped. I'll tell you, I love that song. So foot for foot. Foot for foot. You got a hit right there. Foot for foot by Alexander Diane Rogers. The Alexander. Anyway, you guys, listen. That shit with Meg, with Nicki, I just want it to be over. I want all the girls to get along. You guys know there's so much more strength in numbers. Like we could just, it's just, come on, ladies. Let's work this out. You know, I know Nicki ain't really been too much of a girl's girl and everything, but I just want it to be over, child. I just want it to be over. What y'all think about all of that? Whose side are you guys landing on? If you were a Meg fan, are you still a Meg fan? If you were a Nicki fan, are you still a Nicki fan? Y'all put all that in the comments below, okay? But I would like for all of us to just have one good collective hug. There's so much love that can be spread, y'all. Let's do better. Okay, that's enough. I've talked about this long enough. Moving on.